So we start another day. Pigging. We sell over 50 items weekly on eBay, and the rest of the items head to our live auctions in the Outer Banks of North Carolina. You know, one thing I can say about picking these days is a lot of the stuff that we used to go to as a standby has really just, wet the bed. I've got my own crowd, kind of lined up as far as statues and lighting and paintings, but when you try to go outside of that box for me, the original item that used to be $500 in the price guide that over the years, instead of increasing, has gone down to $300. You can still ask $300, say, on eBay for it, and maybe eventually somebody's going to come in and offer you $250, or maybe even pay the $3. If you try to let that same item rip like we do at 99 cents, you see that some of those $300 items are bringing 50 bucks, and sometimes not even 50 bucks. But there's definitely a lot of stuff that's hurting in the antique world. Now, what fun would a trip on the Chesapeake Bay Bridge tunnel be if we didn't have just a little bit of construction? So we have been picking antiques on the East Coast for the past 10 years, driving about the same route, straight on past Carolina, through Virginia, into Maryland, straight on up the Eastern Shore, into New York and Jersey and PA, a little bit of Delaware picking. Sometimes we head back around through Virginia, like DC area, and then down through Richmond, picking at least 50 items a week. Everything we buy, we sell on eBay. Everything starts at 99 cents, no reserve. It's what we do. So we got a couple hours left on the drive, but had to stop and refuel. So at this point, we've been on the road for about 5.5 hours, and the way our route worked out today, that's going to be all we're going to handle. We're going to head to the Holiday Inn and grab our room and catch you guys in the morning. We're back. We are heading to a sale this morning in near Pond Town. Go check it out and see what we can find.
Number 92, number 92. Just one. Someone, I see going on. Well, that's going on. 30, 30, 30, 40, 40, 50, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140, 140,
So I'm here taking my midday ibuprofen break. We're getting a little bit of buying done, not necessarily the day we wanted, but it's not always the day you want.
Out of the Indian pot! Indian pot here, 25.
So we're leaving the auction. Had a decent day, not a good day, not a bad day, just another day in the life of an antique dealer. I scored a couple of things a little bit under the radar there, and I think I probably overpaid for a couple of things, but that's the life of an auction buyer and seller. It's going to work the same way when I go and resell it, because oftentimes the thing you've got the most money in that you think is going to do the best goes for what you paid for it or less, and the item that you didn't even want to take home ends up being your winner. So I guess the lesson there is to buy across the board and don't leave anything on a table that you should have brought home, because you really never know where the winners are going to be. But we'll take our little 5-hour trip home, 5.5-hour trip home, and unpack this truck and see. We bought fairly decent. We did the same load we always buy. Filled the back of the truck and the cab. No trailer loading today, so that's good. We had no trailer loading, no furniture buying. All right, we'll check back with you. All right, guys, before we get into what it is that we picked up this week, I just want to remind you that you can also find most of these items and many, many more on our website, ssaobx.com. Most of these items are headed straight to eBay and start at 99 cents with no reserves ever. It's kind of our game. As usual, we could not stay away from the statues. I have a ridiculous addiction to 19th century Victorian to Art Nouveau and Art Deco era statues, whether they be spelter metal, bronze, brass. The more ornate, the better. So as you can see, we've got several 19th century, early turn of the century clocks and statues going on there. Just about every single week on eBay, we've got portraits and statues listed. I can't stop buying them. It's my own little personal addiction. I'm glad I get to share that with you guys on eBay. Up next, we got one of these portrait paintings. Again, this is a nice, mid-19th century Civil War era portrait of a lady there. Got a nice 1840s era gentleman right here. Nice oil on canvas. Most of these paintings are estate fresh. We either get them right out of the houses or at an auction where they just came out of a house. A little earlier there, 1820s gentleman. The next painting here is easily one of the nicest and earliest of the day. Just a beautiful 1780s, 1790s English portrait of a lady there. Just outstanding detail. Really nice color. Got a nice looking colonial era gentleman there. Nice little watercolor with the Ben Franklin glasses. We even buy a little bit of newer stuff occasionally, like this this nice little late 20th century landscape here. Just outstanding attention to detail. Looks like maybe a Japanese artist on this one here. And this one's just a phenomenal scene here. Just an incredible equestrian scene with the gentleman in top hats and the horse racing and the fellow that took a spill in the front. This is also a really neat one here, dated 1884, and featuring phenomenal coloring, mostly untouched on this unique harbor scene here. Living at the beach, I've got the addiction of nautical paintings too. I can't say no to them. So it's a great little seascape here with the folks on the beach that have been beachcombing or looking for dinner. And a nice reverse painted oil on glass here. Nice Edward Scott seascape there with the nice clipper ship. And a really neat piece of stump work right here with the hand painted faces and hands. The rest of it is hand done embroidery work. But I think the piece de la résistance of the day here has easily got to be this gentleman right here. A nice 1830s era, maybe 1820s, oil on wood panel portrait painting of a very distinguished looking gentleman here with his eyes closed. And I think that there's really only one good reason for him having his eyes closed. I think this old fella has passed away. I think that, his family had no portraits of him done prior to his passing, and perhaps he passed, untimely. And it was fairly common for them to hire a artist to come and paint his features. As you can see, the bottom half is not as detailed as his face, and a lot of times they would already have the bottom halves, be a woman or man, the clothing painted, so they could come in and spend more time doing the attention to detail and the face work. But this was easily one of our favorite pieces of the day. And there you have it, folks. There's the 200-year-old dead guy at the end of the video. Is it what you were expecting? We'd love to hear your comments. Drop us a line below. Let us know if you liked it or not. Also, if you enjoyed our video, guys, we'd love for you to hit that like button and don't forget to share. If you want to come with us on our next pick, hit the subscribe button as well, because we will be out picking the East Coast next week, and we'd love to take you with us.